And a lot of people ask how I grew my YouTube channel. And for me at the time, I was like, okay, all of these YouTubers are really big right now. What could I do different? And so for me at the time, I noticed that Musical.ly was blowing up.
I was really interested in how you got your start in all this, and I guess considering like how established you are and what a body of work you've put out, I was thinking that you were definitely going to be like one of the OGs that started YouTube in like 2005 or 2006, and just, you know, been putting out, you know, started in the college dorm room or something like that. But that's not the case with you, is it? Like,
no, not at all. I graduated from UC Santa Barbara, and then I actually started acting. I had a sports agent because I had run track in college, and I was an elite gymnast at one point. Mm-hmm. And so I had a sports agent, and I wanted to act. So I was auditioning. I made my living off commercials, so I was like a commercial actor while I was auditioning for like pilot season and different roles in TV and film. And then I was also very like sick, but no one knew that. And I had all sort of colitis, and it progressively just got worse and worse. And after our honeymoon, I had gotten married. My doctor was like, you need to come in, we need to talk. And at that point, I had gotten colonoscopies like every year, multiple. I was a pro, so I was like, I know this is the same thing. But I went in, and they were like, you know, it's exponentially getting worse. Like, you have to have it removed. And I was like, no, not like my colon, that's my large intestine. And I was acting, it's like, I can't wear an ostomy bag, and like, that doesn't go with like what I'm doing right now. Sure. So I took a month of like no social media. I was like, maybe I was stressed from my wedding, and I can like, it'll get better. And I was like, no social media. I like meditated. I did everything. And even leading up to that, I was on every diet, every medication, like you name it, I did it. And it was just getting worse. So a month went by, and I'd begged to have that month. And we took another test, and the colonoscopy results were even worse. And they were like, it's life or death. Like, you don't have much time before. I had to have the surgery, and I was very nervous, but I documented the process. And I wasn't on social media like an influencer by any means. I was acting, but not where I am now. And so I documented it, and I did a Kickstarter, like a campaign to raise $15,000, and I had 11 to 20 days to do it because my surgery, it was like, it had to happen soon. I raised the money. It was like the bare minimum that I could do a documentary, and that was with me producing for free and a lot of favors from friends. And so I documented it, and I was supposed to wear an ostomy bag for 3 months and then have it reversed. But I woke up, and they were like, listen, when we pulled out your colon, it essentially disintegrated. So, which means that surgery was really life-saving because I would have, if it had exploded inside of me, I would not be here right now.
Yeah.
So
just in time.
Yeah. So 3 months became 9 months. So we kind of had to tweak the documentary to me running a half marathon. Long story short, with this ostomy bag, I was like, okay, well, I can't do what I was doing before. Like, I don't think they want a fitness model with an ostomy bag right now. It wasn't really something anyone had talked about. And so I was like, well, during all my surgeries, at least I can do YouTube. I can film from the waist up. And I had some viral videos from my wedding. My flash mob went viral. And then I did an I'm So Married parody. This was when parodies were like a big thing on YouTube. Yep. And so I was like, I can just do YouTube. Like, I'll do that. And so I just started doing YouTube because I could film from the waist up. And then I produced for other YouTubers. I basically went to them and was like, I'll help you out in any way I can right now. Like, I want to produce, I want to be doing this, but I don't know if I can do it in front of the camera. Sure. And my following was nothing at the time, so it's not like I could make a living off of it right away. Yeah. So I essentially was producing. And
when was this, around 2015?
This was 2015 was, so my surgery was 2004 September, it was September 11th 2014. My final surgery was in 2015.
Yep.
And I was kind of like producing while growing my own channel in all of that time. And I did it for like another year before I started just doing it myself.
Wow, okay.
It's very long and complicated.
Yeah,
but
okay. And so then what happened once the documentary came out?
The documentary came out, and again, I wasn't an influencer, so it was on Vimeo on demand. So it was put on there, and people saw it, but it wasn't, and I went and did speaking events. So a lot of what I did is I would speak at companies like ostomy bag companies and products that you probably have never even heard of. They're these huge companies. And I spoke about my ostomy bag and what they could do to make it better, how to make people feel comfortable. Again, no one ever talked about this. And I was like a girl, I was doing photo shoots in a swimsuit with my ostomy bag.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was very open. And it kind of stayed there. I mean, in that small community of people with ostomy bags, I definitely became known there.
Yeah. Kind of a big deal in the ostomy bag community.
It kind of, I mean, they were just like, oh, this girl, like, who is she? She's just like so open about it. And then I believe it was almost 2 years ago, I decided once I had grown my social media following a lot bigger, I decided that I'd made it to show people and to like put as many eyes on the documentary as possible. And so I put it up on my YouTube channel, even when it didn't quite fit in with what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised and shocked at the response from people, like the amount of people that got to watch it, and it was for free, which was great. And yeah, it was just, the response was overwhelming, not only from people and fans and subscribers, but also from people in the YouTube community that obviously I don't want to out, but have also struggled with stomach things that maybe don't want to talk about it or don't feel like they can say anything. And so that was really cool to just have people reach out that I would have never guessed are struggling internally with these stomach issues that no one ever wants to say anything about.
I guess you've kind of skipped over the fact that you've just casually accrued 3 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Very humble of you, but if I can, I'd love to hone in on that and just, when you uploaded your first video, how that started.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask how I grew my YouTube channel. I think that's like a pretty big question, and for me at the time, I was like, okay, all of these YouTubers are really big right now, and I'm starting late. I felt like I was starting late, all these people had millions of followers. What could I do different? And so for me at the time, I noticed that Musical.ly was blowing up. And so I was like, well, if I can go there, and it was like the young people were doing it, but like 20s, people in their 20s weren't doing it. It wasn't like a cool, like older thing. It was like, oh, kids are on that app. So I was like, well, why don't I go over there and like build my audience there and move them over to YouTube? Because those YouTubers don't have that audience. So I can bring in a new audience.
Sure.
I can't compete with the people with millions of followers right now on YouTube, but I can go there. I fit there. So that's essentially what I did. I embraced myself into Musical.ly. I played the mom. I was like, yeah, I'll play moms on the skits with all these kids that were like 3 and 10 and like way more popular than me, but I didn't care. They had way more followers, but I was like, I'll be your mom on the skit. I'll do anything. And that's essentially how I grew my YouTube channel.
Right, okay, I did not know that.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah,
bold plan. You're like, I want to get big on YouTube. I'll just get massive on Musical.ly, and then I'll bring it back over to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't believe it worked as well. Like, well done.
I mean, I think there's always like a new platform, and if you're smart about it, you know that won't last forever.
Yeah.
And if you're smart about it, you bring them over to where you really want to put your focus eventually.
Yeah.
And for me, that was YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. And so it worked? Like people started coming over to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, this was, at that time, my focus was growing on Musical.ly because I saw there was like a huge opportunity there. So I was posting 6 Musical.lys a day.
Wow.
So like where my focus is now YouTube, at that time, it was 6 a day for almost 2 years straight.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you guys are absolutely fine, and you do a great job. What's it like working full time with someone you're married to?
Oh my gosh, it is so hard. Like literally, it's so hard. So Matt and I went like 10 years plus with like him working, you know, like 7:30 to 6. And I was like, had my whole day. I would be acting or taking classes, and then even when I was producing, it was like we had our evenings together. Now we work together. And so it's been this weird adjustment where we've had to, instead of spending time together, we have to focus on spending time apart, which is weird. It's like so weird to people, but for us, like we really have to like make time where I'm like, no, like you need to go for like 2 hours. I need my own time, where we've had to like separate.
Sure.
And that really helps us. Otherwise, we're just like, it's like we need our space. For me, I just need alone time. And that's what's actually helped our relationship, is like making sure we take time
and
away
going
from
for a
each
run
other.
and all that sort of stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple of questions on that topic. I put together a little who's most likely out of you two. All right.
Okay.
Who's most likely to come up with the best content ideas?
Me. For sure.
All right, so you're the best at content. Who is the most likely to mess up a take?
That's like, I would say both of us, but in different ways. I messed up. I tried to prank him today, for example, in a video. It's not come out yet. And I tried to do the Coke Mentos prank, and I put the camera down, and he was over there, and I thought I was like all sly. So I was like, oh, I'm setting down the camera, and I put the Mentos. Well, what I didn't know is you have to give it to him and then put the Mentos in.
You got yourself.
No, not only that, I got the camera. I put 3 Mentos in. It exploded all over the camera. So I'd say I messed up the take that time.
What were you expecting, like to put it in and then it would take a while?
I thought it would take a bubble for a sec and then I'd turn it and then it would explode on him. But it just exploded everywhere on the camera. The camera was sticky. So I messed up that one. So I'd say me by default.
Nice. Yeah. Most likely to avoid having to edit?
Me. Yeah. Me. That is like my least favorite. I love watching it after, and I love giving notes and but like sitting there, I'm just slow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most likely to overthink?
Overthink it? Probably, I would say maybe me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I wouldn't have thought that for either of you, probably just because of the amount of content you're putting out every week.
That's the thing.
You have to be pretty slapdash.
Yeah.
Well, not slapdash, but there has to be a level at which you can go, it's out, move on to the next.
Yeah. I guess I more like overthink. Like I really like to analyze videos. So I'm always like where can we improve?
Sure.
So I'm overthinking. But yeah, I guess when we're shooting, I try to just be in the moment.
Right.
And
would you say that's, to sidebar here, would you say the amount of content you're putting out every week is a contributor to how your success and how quickly the amount of followers, subscribers you have?
Yes, but no. So I think YouTube used to be at one point, the more content you put out, it was like in your favor. But now YouTube is really favoring quality content. And so that's the struggle with us, is like keeping the quality that we love, but putting out so much content. I think, so yes and no. I think now less is actually better. And if you look at each channel, they're not putting out a ton. Like my channel has 3, Matt's has 2, and the dog's has 1, and the Game Master, but put all together, it's 8. So we really tried to focus on quality on the channels. But again,
they all sort of
but because I'm doing 8 videos, it's harder. But obviously, I love the bigger videos.
Sure.
That's just, I love higher quality stuff.
Sure, of course. Gotcha. Okay, back to it. Most likely to sleep in?
Sleep in, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely to spend way too much time on a video?
On a video, shooting a video?
Yep, altogether.
Filming?
Film, yep.
I could spend like 10 hours and they're like, we have so much. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, we've got enough. It's going to take us 10 hours to get through all
I could shoot forever.
Gotcha. All right, last one. Most likely to do the best impression of the other? How's your impression of Matt?
Matt, I would say Matt's is probably better of mine. Matt, I think it's like, I can't even do it. Hey guys, I don't know. I can't do a good impression of him.
If you like what you saw, make sure you check out some of our other videos right here, and also be sure to subscribe to our channel right here for new videos coming out every week.